Hello, everyone. Today, I have to share the story of what I thought was the biggest betrayal of my life. The day I realized the person I believed it was my act of love. But when I asked about my own son's wedding, my daughter-in-law gave me a cruel, cold answer. We got married yesterday, Joyce, just for special people. For years, I believed I was giving my son, Michael and his wife Clara, the perfect start in life. They lived in a beautiful downtown loft, a place that screamed success and luxury. A place, quite frankly, they couldn't afford on their own. Every single month, the entire rent, a substantial sum, moved from my account to their landlord. I saw it as an investment in their happiness, a quiet, loving gesture from a mother. It was a comfortable arrangement until the day I discovered how little they valued my support. The tension started building around their wedding plans. Every time I brought it up, Michael was evasive, talking vaguely about scheduling conflicts. It felt strange, but I gave them space. The truth finally came out when I casually mentioned the wedding to my hairdresser. "Oh, sometime next spring, I think," I told her, laughing. "They're keeping the details a secret." Later that day, the secrecy felt suffocating, so I called Clara directly. "Clara, darling, what's going on with the wedding date? I need to know so I can put in my travel request." There was a pause on the line, a calculated, agonizing silence that felt heavy with judgment. Then she delivered the blow with a voice colder than ice. "Oh, didn't Michael tell you? We got married yesterday, Joyce. It was just a small, private affair. You know, just for special people." Special people? The mother of the groom, the woman who financed their entire lifestyle, was explicitly deemed unworthy. The humiliation was immediate and absolute. I managed a shaky, numb, "I see," and hung up. My hands were shaking, but the overwhelming surge of betrayal was quickly replaced by a cold, surgical clarity. I walked straight to my computer. The monthly rent transfer for their loft was due to be processed the next morning. I canceled it, permanently and silently. 7 days, 7 agonizing days of silence followed the wedding snub. Not a single call, text, or apology from Michael or Clara. They were too busy celebrating their union with their special people, blissfully unaware that the foundation of their entire lifestyle had been demolished. During that week, my initial hurt transformed into a fierce protective resolve. I spent the time compiling documents, reviewing my own financial portfolio, and redirecting all my funds into new, unassailable retirement accounts. My financial generosity had been met with emotional cruelty, and I was determined to ensure my own future was protected from any further entitlement. The call finally came, not about their marriage, but 2 days after the rent was officially overdue. It was Clara, and her voice was no longer cold. It was sharp, frantic, and desperate. "Joyce, I've been calling you. Where is the rent? The landlord called us demanding the money. It's overdue. Did you transfer it?" I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the icy calm that settled over me. The tension I had carried for the past week completely evaporated. I let the silence stretch, forcing her to stew in the consequence of her own actions. "The rent?" I asked finally, feigning confusion. "Oh, you mean the monthly transfer for your downtown loft? I canceled that, darling." You canceled it? "Why would you do that without telling us?" he shrieked, the panic in her voice almost comical. It was in that moment I realized the depth of their self-absorption. They genuinely expected my money to continue flowing, regardless of how badly they treated me. My silence was the most powerful weapon I possessed. Clara's initial panic dissolved into an enraged accusation. "You are deliberately trying to ruin us. After all we've done for you, you pull this stunt?" All they did for me? The hypocrisy was stunning. All you did for me, Clara, was exclude me from my own son's wedding and insult me by calling me unspecial. And frankly, after you made the decision to only invite special people to your wedding, I realized I must not be one of them. And since I am no longer part of your inner circle, I thought it best to sever all financial ties too. I assumed special people didn't require help with the rent. The line went dead quiet. She had no defense. I could almost see her high-flying luxury life, the one I paid for, crumbling around her. She tried to pivot, pleading, "But Michael needs this. You'll ruin his credit. Think of your son." I remained unmoved. "You should have thought of him when you sent that dismissive text about the wedding, Clara. The money is now permanently redirected." It was then I learned the full truth of Michael's cowardice. He had never told Clara I had the right to stop the rent transfers at any time. He had simply told her I promised to pay their rent for years, hoping the lie would hold. He never had the courage to inform his wife of their precarious financial dependency. And he certainly didn't have the integrity to tell his own mother about his wedding. The severity of the situation hit them immediately. They had zero savings. They relied entirely on my monthly payment to maintain their inflated lifestyle. The money she and Michael relied on to live their comfortable, extravagant life was now locked away in my own retirement accounts. Within 48 hours of my final, decisive call, the landlord initiated formal eviction procedures. The shock sent Michael and Clara into a desperate spiral. They were forced to sell everything, the expensive furniture, the designer clothes, and even the special wedding gifts, just to cover the overdue rent debt and find a tiny, affordable apartment far outside the city. Their high-rent facade had vanished, and with it, their entire social standing. Their planned business venture collapsed immediately, as it relied entirely on maintaining the image of wealth I had funded. Michael finally called me, not to apologize for the wedding, but to hysterically demand the money. I explained my reasoning once last time. "Your marriage was private, my money is private. You chose the boundaries of our relationship, and I simply respected them. You are now free to live the life you can afford." I had found peace in my newfound freedom. I learned that day that true family is built on honor and inclusion, not on what you can financially extract from a relative. I took a small portion of the canceled rent money and finally booked a long overdue luxurious cruise, a trip just for one very special person, myself. I didn't rejoice in their downfall. I found liberation in my clean break. They learned that the person who pays the rent should probably be invited to the wedding. I learned that setting firm boundaries is the ultimate act of self-respect, and that my own dignity was worth more than their temporary comfort. My heart was hurt, but my life and my bank account were finally my own. What did you think of that twist? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever faced a betrayal like this? If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button, subscribe for more stories of justice, and share this video with a friend. Until